I'm gonna come back to this at the end of the video, but this is my new philosophy for my portfolio. Sell volatility, buy fear, turn profit into structure. But I'll come back to this. So here's where it's sitting right now in the portfolio, 31,453, which is the exact amount that I have if I was to sell my open positions. This number right here and this number right here, these two numbers are not included in this. Otherwise, it'll be more. I don't see any point in adding numbers that are not being invested into this amount. So on to the balances. So right now, don't have a lot of positions open. Since you can see the cash value, $23,975 that I have to spend coming this Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Hopefully, I can get it all spent within Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday to expire the upcoming Friday. Otherwise, I usually wait till Thursday or Friday to buy for next week. But the more I spend, the more I make. So me personally, I want this to say zero come no later than Wednesday. Hopefully. I think that's it on it. So positions. So just like I always say, the number I care about the most is this one. This means this was fully collected and all my options expired worthless. But lately I've been selling them around $1. So take off $3, assuming I didn't buy any positions just come Monday. So if I didn't do nothing, come next Friday, this is the amount that'll be from this. So if I sell everything right now, this is how much I have. If everything expires worthless, this is how much I have. So far, I've collected $113 from this $395, which leaves $281 left to collect. Got it? Cool. Let's go to the next category. So, from the start of this account, April 6th to today's Saturday, May 2nd, I've collected, let's go to net, $233.23. So this does not include open positions. It's only closed positions. So can't be mad at that. Just about to hit a month. And technically, I'm considering May to be the first month and so on, because now we're only going to be focused on one portfolio and not splitting it between here and Robinhood. So hopefully these numbers start getting more concise and we can actually see everything start growing. Let's go to performance. And then, like I told you, okay, I'm catching up. I'm already past S&P 500, considering all things being equal. If we all started April 6th, I still got a couple of ways to go to catch the Nasdaq. So not too far, about another, let's just say 5%. This at 14.8. I'm at 1059, and we just passed the S&P 500 at least for so far. But hopefully, I take off from them. So everything's still the same. Only contributed $29,000 because I didn't include that extra money from Robinhood. I just kept it as cash. So again, so far we're up 24.53 since April 6th. And it counted since Friday, since it don't count the weekend, obviously. So hopefully the chart keeps going up and to the right. So transaction history. Here's what I did this past week. So starting April 27th, and like always, all the $1 is me closing, and the bigger numbers are me opening new positions. So closed a lot. Even right here, this was 3 contracts that I closed, but total collected $675 from 427 to 5/1. And obviously 5/1 was Friday, so Fridays are usually the bigger days where I close almost all my positions if possible. So I'm usually gonna be cash heavy come, the next week, which will be start being the trend that you guys will start to see. So far, potentially could collect $675, and it only counts Monday to Friday, not Friday to Friday, so it doesn't show the extra $200 or so. So far so good. Now I have something better to look at, which is a dashboard that I've been building, and hopefully it works correctly. Let me go to it. So here's my dashboard that I've been working on. Quite proud of it. I do have a dark mode and a light mode, but doing dark mode so you guys can see better. Let me try to zoom. So it includes my crypto account. So right now we're at 40,500. So 88 in crypto, 3173. So this is from the Schwab account. It takes the bigger number because it includes the options that I've already collected. So just to reiterate, when you sell in premium like I do, you get paid that moment you open the option. So I've already collected the max premium. Charles Schwab just shows this number and the number if I was to sell right then and there and pay back some of the premium. So this is the correct number. That's why I pulls this number. And all I'm doing is just uploading CSVs that I get from Charles Schwab and previously Robinhood. So I closed Robinhood, so everything's zeroed out. And then this number I'll go over right now, the total P&L that I was able to take out from Robinhood, not including stocks. So probably won't come to this screen no more, but here's the Robinhood. So February 11th to April 24th. So I started this account with about $3,000 before I was making it on YouTube, just testing out the strategy. So that's why it looks smaller. And then I decided I'm gonna go on YouTube. So I deposited more money because one, most people like seeing more money. And as you can see, the more money I deposit, the more money I was making. Until April 24th, which was the last day that I had money in here when I started withdrawing into Charles Schwab. So here's the actual number from the time that I did have everything in Robinhood. And then if I never had to close any options, obviously I would make this much. But you got to pay, to close things. And then plus I was testing out things. So I'll open up contracts and close them right away. And then I never lost any money, but Robinhood doesn't do a good job, at least showing down here. Me getting assigned, which was right here, like I got assigned shares, but then a dollar cost average because all the premium. So it doesn't do a good job of equating that. And I left it the same because obviously it was accounted for on the premium side. So for checks and balances, you have to count it on the payback side. So it still all equals out. So total from Robinhood, $2,000.57 from the time I started it, which was back here with $3,000 to the time I took all the 20, $7,000 that was in here out. And even then I never had a chance to fully spend all the money because I was, always going back and forth between here and Charles Schwab. But just so you understand it, that's where this number is coming from. It doesn't include the stocks, which this side includes the stocks. So that's why that's 2057. So total, we made $2,057. Now in the Schwab, so starting from April 7th and hopefully onwards, because I don't plan on leaving, I've already made $2,734. No stocks, just all options. So I had to close the trade. So, every time I pay that $1, it adds up. And then I had that one trade where I just opened it and closed right away, which I'll get to. But Here's the graph, explainable. I'm coming to love this section. What it says, future projections based off the trades I've already made. So assuming I keep collecting an average of $89 per contract, I'll make 135%, which is an extra $43,000, which would bring my total account to 74, let's just say $75,000. And then here's a week by week check. So started this week April 7th. Started this count April 7th. That first week we collected $760. The next week 551. The next week 870, and this past week 685. And then this is obviously what I paid when I was closing. And then this is the one where I opened real quick and closed real quick and lost 35 cents. But overall, we average around $700 a week right now, and it's only been 4 weeks. From that 4 weeks, I've already had opened 62 contracts, which is an average of 15 and a half contracts a week, which is a lot. And it's only going to go up because hopefully I keep making more and more money. And then monthly, April, we collected $2,400. So far in May, which has only been 1 day, I've already collected $277, which was that Friday. So May 1st, when I bought, the 3 contracts for this coming up week, I already got paid $277. So I'm averaging, 4%. Yeah, so far, but that's because the average came down a lot because the first day of May. But last month I made 7.74%. And then so far I've made 8.62% since the April 7th date, which, well, yeah, the way it says right here, April 7th is when we started, which if you go back to my first video, I started this April 7th. And now we should only be going from here. So to me, again, May 1st, which was Friday, is going to be the first month where I have all the money and I'm not going to deposit any more money into this account just so I can actually see and you guys can see a lot better. But that's why I made this dashboard. So even if I do deposit more, it's still easily seen. But yeah, you can see all of this Friday or all the Fridays where I close and pay my $1, which you do not have to do. You can just let it expire worthless and keep it because these dollars will add up. As you can already see right here, it adds up. And then here's that $100 that I keep mentioning. So right here, I opened it up real quick and closed it real quick. So it's not going to say that I only lost 35 cents because checks and balances right here. I collected 101 and 34, but I closed it and had to pay the difference of that 66.34, which is about 34 cents. So total, I'm at 27,034 since April 7th. And the one that you guys don't often see is the crypto assets. So the bot is right here, which right now, or when I export it, it was at 3,941, which is probably up. Crypto is up. But on my next video, of course, you'll see how much we make from this week in the bot. And then this is my day trading account, which I haven't shown yet. This is just spare cash. And then this is a few dollars I just have sitting in Ethereum and Bitcoin. But total, it adds up to 8810. And if I keep doing what I'm doing, this account should make an extra 157%. So it'll bring this 8810 to 19,000. So that doesn't include Charles Schwab. So Charles Schwab will have 74,000 if it all goes well. And this will have 19,000 if all goes well. And then to bring it all together, so far since February 11th, because I started with that $3,000, I've collected $5,975, which is 16%, an average of 6.3 a month. Options 470, stock 500, dividends $7, and then the crypto assets of 1,200. So not too shabby, $6,000 so far. and technically it's $6,000 since mid-March. And then the 74,000, which I need to change this because this is only considering Schwab. But at the time, I didn't have the crypto one set up. So next video, this future projection on that full trade center should show the projection for the crypto and the Schwab. So this number will go up by that $19,000. And then just the trades that I made. I like this, may make some changes, but so far it's good enough to start using it for my YouTube videos on top of showing the actual Schwab account. So that way you guys can at least see what's going on, visually more. Now, let's get back to that philosophy that I showed earlier. Okay, this is the image that I had, the AIs generate, but I'm gonna keep going over this. Hopefully I get better and better at explaining it. But the overall aspect is green is me collecting premiums from what I've been doing this past month. Blue is me spending some of that premium to buy just calls straight out. And then yellow is me making a spread, which is kind of like me taking profit off the table, putting some in my pocket, and leaving the rest to ride. And that works best if you only have one contract. Obviously, if you got 3 contracts, you can sell 2 and leave 1. But sometimes I may not have 3 contracts. So, just to explain it, sell volatility for income. The more volatile the stock is, the more credit you can collect from said stock. So, if you're trading an asset that doesn't move, the premiums are never going to be ripe for the taking. So, I like to trade something that moves a lot, which is triple Q, which is a derivative of triple Q, which is basically Nasdaq. So this is the Nasdaq. If you know what that is, it's golden. So a little graph showing you how it works, but by now you should know how it works of me collecting this premium and selling puts, which main thing is to sell puts weekly to collect premium, which is gonna fund my engine to do these other 2 things. So I'm not gonna go over everything, at least right now. Obviously, you can read it, but throughout the weeks, I'll keep going over this. I'll hit on different categories. But short rundown is I sell puts, collect premium, and then when the stock or the market allows it, let's say I go to sleep and the stock's at $62, which it was on Friday, but I wake up on Monday, it's at $55. If I think that's a good, floor or a good place to buy, support, cool. I'll buy a $55 contract, or not 55. I'll buy a $62 contract in hopes that I collect the bounce. Minimum or somewhere around 45 days to expiration. No longer than 90 days. So anywhere from 45 to 90 days out. So that way it gives me plenty of time to collect when Nasdaq starts to trend back up from the down. If it trends back up the next day, ooh, I can take some off the table, which is where this comes in. So if I bought this long call, I can now sell a short call, which is what I do here when I sell a put. Now the opposite, I sell a call. So I'll collect premium, hopefully around what it costs. So that way, instead of max loss being $80, I've already put $80 in my pocket. And then I have a chance to make max $320 in this example. So it's only positive. It shouldn't be no max loss since I've already collected premium here from this call and obviously the premium from here. So essentially, I have 3 incomes from just the same one contract. That's the short of it. Of course, throughout the next week, I'll keep going over this more and more and more and go over like why I got the trade rules I have, the ideal market environment, and so forth. But the staple of it is sell volatility, which pays me the most, buy fear, which, oh, the market's going down, sell, sell, sell. No, you find a good floor and you buy, because things are on discount, especially when we're talking about the NASDAQ. And then you turn a profit put money in your pocket, and create a structure that hopefully pays you until that contract is up. So that's the short of it. Again, I'll go over this more and more, but that's it for now.